don't have any slides, just got some notes. But I wanted to answer a couple of questions that Barry had asked, because at the moment, on behalf of OPC, I'm working at Engineers Australia on the East Stage 1 project, which is part of their big MIS renewal project. So to answer your question, it's basically a huge Drupal form, basically a giant questionnaire. They upload close to 52 fields of information, be it text or drop-down boxes or file uploads. That gets all saved, doesn't get saved in Drupal, it gets passed through to their large Oracle database, at which point we then pass the whole task, moves on to the assessors, and the assessors can assess each field and rate it as suitable or not suitable, and then that can generate an outcome letter, and that outcome letter is automatically generated, automatically sent. All the billing is done through a BPay or a credit invoice system. And we've been working on that project for just East Stage 1, coming up on just over a year now. So it's been a huge project, and we'll hopefully finish it soon, hopefully next week. Yeah, so basically a massive Drupal form that talks to an Oracle database. And with Emma's question on regards to the savings, I think two of the biggest savings will be time saving for them. Currently, for migration skills assessment, you'll have someone in Pakistan, for example, wanting to migrate to Australia. They have to get 52 pieces of information together, package it all up into a big sandwich of text documents, physical hard copy things we don't use anymore, and mail them around the world to Australia, in which case it gets to an assessor back at Engineers Australia, and they have to open it up and go through each of these single pieces of paper, and they have to file those pieces of paper away and mark the assessments down and manually write down all the assessment data and manually send that out. I think the biggest saving for them will probably be space, because they don't have to store all of these documents. These giant expanding file systems and kilometers squared of archived documents that they're not going to need anymore, because it's all digital, which I think is fantastic. So I think that'll be one of the big savings for them. But now onto my stuff. My name is Toby Wild. I'm currently working with OPC as a senior developer. I do mainly Drupal work because I love the CMS. It's really fun to use, really easy to use. Looking around the tables, I think I've worked with someone from every table. Emma I worked with when she was in PMC and I was in regional Australia. SETI I've worked with at PMC. Greg and Craig I've worked with. Greg was at DSS and Craig was at Department of Regional Australia when I worked on my region, which I will get to in a moment. So, and of course, the OPC table. I work with them at the moment. Right, so my talk is about geolocating content using Drupal. So first off, what is geolocating? Actually, rewind again. Hands up technical people? Hands up business people? All right, half an hour. All right, so geolocating content is the practice of assigning a physical location in the real world to a digital piece of content. The most common examples of that are photos. You take a photo somewhere, Flickr or Tumblr or whatever your service is, they'll normally geolocate it to a location. News articles, great for that. In government, media releases are great to geolocate, especially if you've got a minister in a certain location giving a certain speech. You can say, you can show on a map where that minister's been, or if you want to hide that, don't show the map, in case he stays all around camera. Or if you want to get a bit topical, you could use it to track Ebola outbreaks, as people are doing these days. It can be done in a number of ways. The most direct kind of one-to-one way is assigning a latitude and a longitude to a piece of content, which is basically a string of numbers that give it, the globe, the latitude and longitude. Gives you an exact, down to the half a meter location of where that piece of content worked, was provided. It's great because it's an exact number with a low margin of error, but on the other hand, it's a bit difficult because it's a big string of numbers and humans aren't really great at remembering big strings of numbers. The other easier way is using well-known terms, which most people are used to, which is how you can go to Google Maps and type in OPC IT Canberra into Google Maps, and you'll be taken to exactly the OPC office. It's a lot easier than typing in 31 to 37 Townsend Street, Phillip, ACT Canberra, and a hell of a lot easier than typing in negative 35.352.754,149.088,388.
Is that one?
That's exactly what it is. Both methods have their pros and cons. One is a one-to-one match, as I said, but the other one is a lot easier for humans to work with. So you've got a bit of decisions to make there. Luckily, these days, there's a whole bunch of free services and even better Drupal modules that allow you to look up in both directions. So you can type in that latitude and longitude, and it will display to the user as a nice street address, which is easy for them. Or if you don't have that latitude and longitude, you can type in that street address, it will find the latitude and longitude and put the point there for you. So there's a lot of great services these days, often provided by Google, that allow you to go both ways. You can think of geolocating content as similar to tags or metadata or taxonomy for your content. In the same way that a user might narrow their search down for a piece of content by using the term small business to find something that's right for them, you basically add the taxonomy term or the meta tag of 3137 Townsend Street, and that allows them to find content that's close to them, which I think a lot of people these days are more interested in. It's great if someone can search for, say, a grant that's become available, grant funding. Everyone wants funding. If you can find a grant that's been geolocated to 5 kilometers away from you, you know that you're very likely to be able to apply for that, especially if it's a region-specific grant. So I think that's an excellent way. And it's better than just tagging the piece of content as grant funding, because then that'll show up for everyone in the world.